the stuff that we teach, one thing we teach is specifically for writers. And it's called Meet Your Characters. Now think about this. If you're a writer and you're writing a story, you will, in your mind, come up with characters. You'll create characters based on whatever, your imagination, your history, your family, your neighbors, whatever you do, that's great. So now you have an imagination of characters. And now you're writing the characters, or you're sketching out the storyline, whatever you're doing, and you are imagining what they are going to do and how they're going to respond. And you will, by instinct, try to force them into or nudge them into doing what you want them to do so your story will work out. But here's a question. As you're in that process, deep in the writing process, creating process, imagine for a moment if you could actually meet those characters live, meet them and talk to them, and even put them in the situations that you imagine that they're going to be in, and see what they do. If you could meet them live and talk to them, if you could ask them questions, if you could interrogate them, if you could get to know who they are, not in your imagination, but in reality, and write from that. In other words, meet the characters, get to know these people, do the research with real live people. Now, this is a technique where writers, which we can teach you, writers work with actors in the writing process. I strongly feel that there's a gold mine of creativity in our business, filmmaking business and film and stage, that we don't use anywhere near enough, and that a lot of people, even writers and directors, don't even recognize. There's a gold mine that you can dip into of creativity that is so rich and so complex and so beautiful and so accessible and free. And that is the creative imagination of actors. Think about this. Now, this is going back to the writing process, but think about this. We write a script, the script is done, maybe you spend 4, 5, 6 years on it, and it's done, and finally it's going to be made. And now you're going to cast actors. Do you know what you're doing? You're looking for people who will fit into those little boxes that you've created, which are the characters. You have an idea, and you're trying to find someone who will fit into that box, and it looks like, or it feels like, they're going to give you the performance that you imagine. So you're forcing actors into a box, into a concept that you have. Whether you're the writer, the director, it doesn't matter, or the producer, you have a concept, and you want to get somebody into that box, and then you think you'll be fine. But you realize that you are skipping over or bypassing the most beautiful part of what those actors can do, which is their creative imagination. If you brought those actors in at any point in the process and actually activated the characters inside them and then let the characters loose. By loose, I mean let them operate outside of the script. Let them operate not with the restrictions of dialogue and scene, but just an engagement with you. You will start to discover things about these people that you never knew. It's a gold mine. So we encourage writers and directors, obviously, but writers especially, to start to meet their characters by engaging with actors in the writing process. Let them guide you. Let them share with you. They're not going to tell you how to write anything. They won't do that. But what they will share with you is the richness and the complexity of the characters that they are experiencing that are growing inside them. So let's look at it a slightly different way. Same thing. Meet your characters. Imagine engaging yourself with a group of actors, 3, 4, 5 actors, whatever your main cast for your film is, and you have them in your room, your living room, your office, wherever you are, even on Zoom. We've done this on Zoom. And you are now in a conversation with these characters that you have created. And you can place them in any situation, any dynamic, any scene you want. Not a scene that's going to be scripted. Not a scripted scene. But a scene that you imagine. You imagine these 3 characters meet at Starbucks or whatever, and this one wants this, and this one wants that, and this one, you know what the characters need, and you just let them loose and let them improvise. You'll be amazed. Number one, if you've done your work well, igniting the characters, you'll be amazed how they will stay true to the character, and they will give you a scene that is probably richer, more complex, and more nuanced than anything you had imagined, and certainly anything you have written.